going forward. But I mean, if we keeping it real, like we haven't had a sprint race that was like that even up until now. Like it's even fair to say we haven't even had as many races that exciting up until now, right? And that's a fair point. So I would like to say that I think people were excited about that because it was a battle to the end between top teams. I mean, we literally had Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes in the mix, even Lando peeps here and there, in qualifying. But I think that's what we're looking for as race inspired fans to see like a battle just going back and forth. Like we don't know who's going to cross that checkered line. But that's not what it has been. And, rightfully so. Red Bull have definitely earned that uh, due to their works, due to their efforts, due to Max's driving. But I know some things that people were wondering, and I know you got in my comment section to ask me, like, what's up with the tire strategy? What was Red Bull doing? What are they trying to do? Well, I'm just here to tell you this. Whatever they're doing, they are strategizing to win. I mean, let's just be real and let's just be honest. Red Bull has been doing that. I got to credit them for that. We've always known them to be on point with their pit stop strategies. I think some of us have said like the gangster-like mentality within Formula One. But either way it goes, they're going to win. Now, a lot of times we don't agree with a lot of things that they do because they're known to be cheaters or to toe the line and even break the line as far as even the cost cap. Which, by the way, what's going on, fam? I'm going to have a special shirt on for Finale Lap, so be here to see that. Also, in response to the trivia games, there was a question that I asked about the tires, and I phrased it wrong. And the way I phrased it, it would have been that the answer would have come out in more of a chronological order. That's on me. Mr. J answered the question, and in a way, it would have been just 3 tire manufacturers, but the way I listed the question chronologically order. But still, even if we had closed out the quality kickback trivia, Mr. J would have won because he still would have had 2, but it would have gave Arcatrail a point on the board. So I'm still going to let him spin. It's all for fun. It's all for fun and good spirit. We're still going to let him spin. But what I'm thinking about doing is making a point. Since Arcatrail did get that right, I will make a point to carry that over for him. So if Arcatrail will remind me the next trivia games, because technically chronological order, he got that correct. I'm going to do something. I'm going to go ahead and bump him a point starting off in the next game. So Arcatrail, just remind me in the next trivia games to give you that spotter point. Galacticus has already won one before, so I know he's not going to be sore about it. He's a good sport. So Arcatrail, remind me. But Mr. J still will spin today. When we're going to be live today after the race. I'm going to let him spin live for his gift card, $25, $50. But let's get into this Red Bull strategy situation. Don't forget, single music comes out November 24th, Flex Up. So let's check this out, okay? What was Red Bull doing? That's really what we want to know, what they were doing. All right, so when it comes down to the Red Bull strategy, we know that majority of the teams that went out on the sprint to start were on soft tires. All right, the only other driver aside from Max Verstappen that was on mediums was Latifi. And I know we're not holding a candlestick comparison about Latifi to Max. So regardless of what a Formula One team is doing to be strategists, we're not going to sit up here and say whatever Williams was doing is lightweight what they should expect Red Bull to get. So I know we were all wondering, what are they doing? Bam. And that's really what's going on, okay? So if you see right here, they're going to use Max medium C3 new on the mediums, okay? But still, they went and they gave Perez, if you look over there at Perez at number 9, they gave him a set of soft C4 new. I'm all for that if they're trying to do strategy, but in this strategy, it kind of screws Perez a bit. It doesn't mean it entirely screws him, but if you go back here and you look, and I'm going to let you take a look at this. If you look at this chart, you'll see that tires on hand, Max had 1 each used and new hards, okay? He's got 4 total new mediums, which now he will have 3 because he used 1 in the sprint, so we have a used set. Then he has 3 sets of soft, 2 new, 1 used. Well, if you come down to Perez equals him in hards available and mediums still, but Perez now will only have 1 set each of soft, used, and new. I'm really not with that when I looked at the tire inventory to take soft tires away from Perez, but I'm pretty sure Red Bull wanted to see what these tires were going to do. And they just went ahead and split them. So at this point in time, I'm thinking like, hey, Max has already got the championship. They're going to put him out on the mediums, give Perez a better chance on the soft tires in the RB18 to collect some points, right? Okay, well, maybe not so much because we're going to go a little bit further with this and see what's up. So then going into this, we will see here that as a finish, take a look at this, all right? Max Verstappen, best lap, 116.5 on the mediums. Perez, best lap on the softs, 116.1. They're 4/10 off from each other. All right, Perez is 4/10 faster than Verstappen on a soft tire, which we could expect that. I think something that we also need to look at is the Mercedes group on the soft tire, because some might say, like, when they saw what happened with Mercedes and Red Bull, well, Max was on a medium tire. So, I mean, he really was already at a disadvantage to Lewis Hamilton. You could be a little bit biased there, but look, Perez was faster than Max on a soft, which he should be, right? And let's not also forget, there are some variables here in totality. There are some variables here in totality that I'm gonna give Max some credit for as far as this. He did have in-play damage. Well, we've seen cars with in-play damage. It does affect the car, but not that much. I mean, the RB18 speed can compensate for that little bit of in-play damage. Also, keep in mind that Max complained throughout practice and qualifying about the steering, okay? Now, the steering more lends towards Perez's way than Max's way, and up until now, the car has been fully, completely developed, and it's not even a debate that the RB18 has been developed towards Max Verstappen's driving style. And they've been trying to say Perez should just adapt to that. It's not always as easy as it seems when you're constantly developing a car toward another driver's driving style, okay? So keep that in mind. I will give Max that, though, all right? But still, Max should be able to adapt as well, right? If we're talking about drivers should be able to adapt. Look at the Mercedes group. On the soft tires, 115.1 to Perez's 116.1. Hamilton's a second faster than Perez on the same type of tire. A second faster in lap time than on the same type of tire. Now go up to Russell. For a lot of people that like to talk about Russell and Hamilton's pace. Okay, Russell did come in first, but look at his lap, 115.5. Hamilton's 4/10 faster than Russell on a soft pound, and Russell 115.5 is almost like 4/10 faster than Perez. Okay, so I would like to say, I know last race, a lot of people were saying Mexico was a fluke. Like Mexico was probably a fluke as to Mercedes having this pace. Okay, cool, you want to say that. But now we're in Brazil and they're having this pace. Okay, they're having this pace. They're a bit faster than the Red Bull. The W13 is not faster than the RB18 straight line speed whatsoever. But I will say that I think that this is a constant to show that Mercedes has made hella progress. And like others have said, and I'm saying it now, Mercedes might be hell to deal with coming 2023. All right, but we are going to still stick to this tire strategy. And I think Red Bull still have the upper hand, okay? So as we come over here, these were the Mexican GP's possible tire strategies. So, okay, so the quickest strategy that they said would be to start on a soft tire, take it out 20 some odd laps, go ahead and come in for a second stop, and then basically take that tire out 48 laps, completing the GP. That was the quickest suggested tire strategy, which we know Red Bull took. Red Bull went for that strategy, okay? If we look at the very close strategy, saying a one-stopper, they were saying to take the mediums out to 30 some odd laps, end on the hard tire. Well, we already pretty much know it. We thought Mercedes fudged that up. They fudged it up. It didn't work well. I don't think there's been an opportunity that says the hard tire has been the best tire for their drivers in that W13, but I don't even think it was very close. I think that strategy killed the fact that Mercedes could have brought home a win and they jacked it all up. And they jacked it up. Another thing is why? What's another area they jacked it up? Well, here is how everything completed in the Mexican GP, okay? Verstappen, Perez take the soft tires out to 25, 23 laps. Ride the mediums out to the end, winning the race, okay? But look at Hamilton and Russell. Hamilton, they pull him in early on the mediums. And then they go to the hard tire, finishing out with Russell on a set of used. Well, I'm just saying, pay attention to Red Bull's strategy here. Started on the softs, took it out 20 some odd laps, ended on the mediums. They went with the suggested tire strategy in Mexico, and it was the right tire strategy. All right. But I also would like to say this. I know people steadily. Matter of fact, I know people steadily want to talk about Max Verstappen being the tire whisperer and how he did take those medium tires out. But you do realize that Perez took those medium tires out 2 more laps than Max did. 2 more laps. So let's not give Perez his credit as a good driver. Perez took those tires out further than Max on the mediums, 48 laps versus Max's 46 laps. Okay? Now let's keep on with this tire compound. Let's keep this on, right? All right, barring weather, we're not going to consider weather. We'll just look at this tire strategy. On the softs to the mediums, took the race. Mercedes fudged it up on the mediums, pulled in hella early. We're talking about Red Bull took the medium tires out 46 and 48 laps. Mercedes pulls in Lewis Hamilton 20 some odd laps, Russell at 34. Knowing Lewis said he was okay on the mediums. You pulled him in way too early on these mediums. If you go down and you'll see even Magnussen took the medium tires out 38, but look at Alonso. Alonso took his medium tires out 40 laps. Mercedes fudged up. They allowed Red Bull to tempt them in to making a pit stop when they didn't need to, and then they went on the wrong tires, but not Red Bull. Red Bull are coming to play, and they came to play hard. They went on the medium, which was the quickest suggested tire strategy. So if you look right here, all right, quickest lap, Perez, 121.7. He is almost, 3/10 faster than Max Verstappen on the same tire, all right, on the mediums. But what is also interesting here, if you go over to the C2 hard compounds, you'll see that Lewis Hamilton's time is a 122.06 to Max Verstappen's 122.04 on the mediums. Lewis Hamilton was 0.02 of a second just slower than Max on a better compound tire. This is where some of you all should have realized that the Mercedes actually were making progress with car development, because he's only 0.02 of a second slower than Max Verstappen in the fastest car on the grid on a better tire. Yes, Mercedes messed up the tire strategy. Without a doubt, they messed up the tire strategy. That is no debating that. But there's information here that shows you that the development of the W13 is probably further along than some of you would like, and further along than some of them would have suggested would have come into. But still, Red Bull's tire strategy was on point. But I just want to point out, even if you go up to Russell's 121.9 on the hard compound to Perez's 121.7, you're talking about 0.2 slower. 0.2 slower on a harder compound tire than Perez on a better tire. I'm just saying. Check them out. So anyway, go into this, and let's get to this point. In Mexico City, the selected Pirelli tire compounds were C2 hards, C3 mediums, and C4 softs. What do we have in Brazil? In Brazil, we got C2 hards, C3 mediums, C4 softs. Same tire compounds in this race as Mexico. Same tire compounds in this race as Mexico. So I'm going to tell you this. and I'm just getting started. I think we can all agree that if Mercedes had not screwed up the tire strategy, that it is likely Mercedes would have had a win in Mexico. We're in the southern region of the hemisphere still. Okay, so you can miss me with all the air density. That does matter. But listen, in Mexico, had Mercedes not fumbled up the tire strategy, they would have possibly pulled off a win. I think we can all agree with that was a very likely possibility. It didn't happen, but possible. Red Bull had the better tire strategy. They chose the better tire strategy. They had the fastest car. They did what they were supposed to do, and they benefited from that. But I'm just saying, we're in same tire compounds, and not to mention 2 tracks. Mexico was 71 laps, 4.3 kilometers. Are we not in a similar track situation here in Sao Paulo? Are we not? We're still 71 laps, and we're still 4.3 kilometers. By the way, shout out to Valtteri. He holds the lap. I think he holds the fastest lap time here at both tracks. Shout out to Valtteri, the Finn. Not going to forget about you. But I'm just saying, similar tracks as far as distance and laps. Now, yeah, the layout is a bit different. Okay, the layout is a bit different from Mexico to Brazil. Yes, same lap, 71 lap race. Also, about the same distance, 4.3 kilometers. Here we are again with Mercedes having good pace, and if they don't fumble the tire strategy on a similar layout, similar track, we could be in for a battle. Not to mention, now they have the front lockout 1 and 2. Now the cars are in Parc Ferme. There's not going to be a bunch of updates, okay? There are going to be some adjustments they can make. Now, can Red Bull maybe adjust this car to kind of get the steering to where Max likes it versus how Perez likes it? Because that's where they sit right now. But y'all did see Mercedes flying down there. If Mercedes get the tire strategy right, then cool. They can actually do something. But they haven't yet. And I don't trust Mercedes as far as strategy. I don't. I trust the drivers to do the best that they can do with these cars, but I'm not trusting Mercedes with strategy. I'm not. Now, if they do it, I'm going to be like, good on them. They're going to give their drivers that have bought a subpar car several times to podium a real opportunity to win something aside from a sprint race. Now, remember, Russell was 4/10 slower than Hamilton in that race. Hamilton just started further back. Russell started at 3. I think Hamilton started at 8. Made his way up the grid. Yo, y'all could be in something. 083. This footsteps from Mercedes are getting louder and louder. Red Bull and Ferrari should be scared. Mercedes is coming for them. That is a fact. That is a fact. No lie. No lie there, bro. No lie. Big ups. That's a fact on that. So let's get to this, okay? Also, you got to remember Carlos had the grid penalty, but let's get to something else that's really interesting. All right, we're going to switch over, okay? We're going to switch over to this. All right, we're going to switch over to this. We got 2 teams. Okay, so now I'm leaving this point, all right? I'm leaving this point. Red Bull still are going to be, they're still elite. They're still the fastest car on the grid. I'm just saying, if Mercedes doesn't fumble up tire strategies, they pay attention to the suggested tire strategy, don't try this hard compound bull crap, we could see a battle on our hands for this race. Mercedes possibly could come out with a win. But as far as the tire strategies with Red Bull, I simply think they were just trying to see where the mediums and softs sit. Max went out on the mediums. I don't think that they expected Mercedes. I don't think they fully realized and appreciated Mercedes' actual progression. And I think it showed up and it surprised Red Bull. It surprised them. And now I think Red Bull like, oh, shit. I mean, we already got the championship and a Constructor Championship. Whoop-de-doo. But I'm going to get into something else that I think Red Bull did that shafted somebody that I don't appreciate. But right now, also, we got teammates clashing. We had Aston Martin clash. We had Alpine clash, all right? So this already changed up the grid some. You will see that Alonso is going to receive his penalty of he's going to get 5-second penalty for the collision or the contact made between him and Ocon, all right? Outside of that, also, We had Aston Martin have their situation. Stroll, that situation was crazy looking as well. And when it comes to that, we're also going to see a penalty handed down to Stroll, and he's basically 10-second penalty for a dangerous maneuver. Okay, that's what he's going to get. All right, so teammates clashing, penalties handed out for that. I said during the sprint that it should have been investigated and damn sure needed penalties needed to go out for that. And indeed, they did issue out penalties. 10 seconds for Stroll, 5 seconds for Alonso. All right. I'm not. I pretty much think it should have been, both. Honestly, I think it should have been 10 seconds should have went either way, or 5 seconds either way. But hey, they got penalties, so that's consistent. We'll go with that. Next thing we're gonna talk about is this. What's up? What's really up? What's all the way up? Because I'm telling y'all like this. Shit looking funny to me. Spider, I got you. Spider. Wait, I got you. Spider. Big up, Spider. I'm finna give your props first. Big ups to you. And then I'm finna get to your super chat. All right, so Spider says, just don't come out. Damn, these shit, y'all moving fast in the super chat. Just don't come out and enters like Charlie. Please don't do that shit. Please don't do that. Please don't. I'm telling you, if they do that, I'm flying to Brazil right now, private jet. I'm slapping the shit out of Toto Wolff. Straight up, if we see something like that. But Red Bull, what's up? I got to talk about this. Perez as team orders. Can he move up to get the points? Is Max Verstappen not already the 2022 champion? Is he already 2022 champion? Yes. Is Red Bull already Constructors champions? Yes. Perez has done his job. Perez has done his job as the second driver in Red Bull to defend like a mother. I wish Valtteri would have defended. Matter of fact, screw that. I wish any driver would defend like Perez defends for his team. Perez is just asking, yo, I'm fifth, Max is fourth. We right here. Can we go ahead and get team orders so I can get these points and just help my standing in the championship standings? What does Max do? What does Max do, y'all? Max shows y'all the character that I said he got all the time. His character is shit. Max's character is shit. There should not have even been a need for this to even be requested over the radio. If I'm in the same position as Max, 22 champion already, we already got the constructors locked up. It's a sprint race. If I'm just worried about winning races, I got today to win a race to extend my lead as far as a record. This is a sprint race. Let my bro get these points. Come on up and get these extra points, Perez. Max doesn't do that. What does Max do? Max type shit. Now, y'all always say, oh, you be hating on Max. What do y'all call that? Do y'all honor that type of mentality? No, I would have let my bro slide up and get the points. I'm already the champ. And this is not even the real race. Come on, y'all can't respect that. Even if you're a Max fan, like, you cannot be respecting that type of character. 083, facts. Verstappen is not a team player. Now I'm in my bag on Max because rightfully so. Y'all say I'll be wrong about Max, but I'm right about Max. Max is talented. Max is a good driver. Max is winning. Max has the fastest car on the grid. All that credit to him. But his character is crap. He should have let Perez get that. Perez has done his job, and Perez signed early, and he really should be making more money for what he does for y'all. Perez, you shouldn't have signed that contract early. You should have waited and made him give you a bigger check or went to a different team. Because I'm telling you, bro, they're not appreciating you like they should. Perez, I'm telling you, you better think about it. I'm just being for real. Your neck, because I'm going to be honest with you, Perez, you already in a situation that's kind of building. They got De Vries, another Dutchman, another Netherlands that's going to come up and possibly take your seat. 2023, yours is up 2024. They might move on from you. Perez, you should have got that check, bro. You should have got that check. But I want to say that I think that's BS on the part of Red Bull. I think it's BS on the part of Max Verstappen. I think it shows that you're not a team player. We already had talks. Was he going to let Perez win a race in his home GP? Hell no. We knew that wasn't going to happen. But you mean to tell me you can't even let Perez get some goddamn sprint points, bro? You looking stupid out here, Max. You looking real salty. You looking dirty. That was dusty. Outright despicable. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to character. That's the difference between people that leave certain legacies and people that don't. But yeah, I didn't agree with that. I thought that was real foul on behalf of Max. I thought it was disrespectful on behalf of Red Bull and Perez. Just think about your placement. Straight up, period. Point blank, period. Think about your placement. Moving on. So now we go into this. Several crypto sponsors in Formula One. We know this right now. I mean, I can give you a list of them. So far, crypto sponsors in Formula One, we got Velas, we got Phantom, we got FTX, which they've been suspended by Mercedes and rightfully so, filing for bankruptcy, in financial trouble. Clients are not happy. We got Crypto.com at Aston Martin. We got Phantom at AlphaTauri. We got Velas at Ferrari. We got Floki at Alfa Romeo. We got Binance at BWT Alpine. We got BYBT over there at Oracle Red Bull. We got Tezos over there at McLaren. So there are several cryptocurrencies sponsors within Formula One. And right now, FTX is in a lot of trouble, and rightfully so. Mercedes has decided to remove their logos for the Brazilian GP. Akandu, latest Tier 1 VIP member. Congratulations again. Look how careful Russell, Lewis, and Sainz had to be careful with Max because that no, he's dirty. But the fact he on the sucker crap, I say it's sucker shit, towards his teammates says it all. Akandu, bro, you are not lying. Big facts. Big facts, bro. It says he on some suck shit. By the way, don't worry. I got the bottle already chilling just in case they going to get a podium. By the way, y'all need to think about what team y'all want to pop bottles for next season. This is why I tell you I want a diverse community that support different teams and different drivers. I'm going to let y'all pick for 2023 what team we should pop bottles for going forward. It's a vote. I'm putting the teams up there. If it's Mercedes again, it's because you didn't vote or you don't come to the channel. Do what you want to do, but I'm going to put it up for vote. But yeah, that is sucker shit, but FTX is gone. Now it's possible. Crypto is looking pretty flaky right now. We might see other sponsorships fall off by next season. Or maybe some of the teams might decide not to even deal with crypto sponsorship. Just saying. But crypto.com might be a little bit harder because they're pretty big sponsorship within Formula One. So next, we're going to go into another topic. We're going to deal with all these updates. We're going to talk about Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz, you already know he got 5 grid penalty PU situation, so they're already doing that. Carlos falls back to 7th as far as his grid placement, which is why Hamilton really didn't need to push the envelope. He took the Prost approach and ends up with 2nd with a front row lockout from Mercedes anyway. So not a lot of time to spend on that. Pierre Gasly, 10 penalty points, 2 points off from being penalized for missing a competition. Also, you have to also know that when you reach 12 points, you will get penalized. You will have to sit out a competition, but then your points start over from 0. It's 12 points within a 12-month period. So I don't think he's going to get an additional 2 points. But even if he does, he's missing the last race of the year, and then he goes off, he'll get his 12, he'll start off on that clock. So not as much as a big deal as they were making. Now, if this was higher up the grid, like let's say if this was something like in a Mercedes garage and Red Bull, even in McLaren, I think it would be a bit more for us to be like, oh shit, like this is, this could ruin a lot. But it's AlphaTauri, it's Gasly, he's going to Alpine, whoop-de-damn do. But yeah, his points will start over anyway, and then he'll go into the all season. So it is what it is. But that's not as big as the deal as they want to make it. But it is a potential situation that does lie. Like if he gets 2 more points, he'll be sitting out. If he gets them in this race, he won't be participating in Abu Dhabi, I don't think. But then it starts over. Hey, Gasly, you can start off fresh with Alpine next year. 0 points, buddy. So hey, go for it. Then Lewis Hamilton, credit out to Lewis Hamilton doing a lot of work in the community, going to Brazil, doing soapbox racing with the community, with these kids. I always say, it's not just what you do in the sport. It's what you do outside of the sport that also matters, that also adds to your legacy, that also adds to your legendary status, that also adds to you being bigger than the sport that you participate in. Lewis Hamilton is that, okay? Lewis Hamilton is bigger than Formula One because he's grown himself as that. He's invested in that. He's got the Lewis Hamilton Commission, which is going to do things as far as diversity and right hiring between blacks and people of color within Formula One. He does plenty of things as far as as far as charity work, how much money he gives to charity each season. A lot of people like to try to, hey, oh, he ain't doing that much. How have you ever given $1 million to charity? Have you ever even given $1 million to charity? I'm feeding 4 families this month on my own dime for Thanksgiving. What the hell are you doing? Don't talk about what somebody else is doing with their money if you're not doing something your damn self. And if you are, we don't even talk bad about people like that because we know what it is to do something. Even here at the Wolfpack family, we just sponsored a Carter and sent them several sets of tires for their 2023 season. What have you done? What has your platform done, if you even got a platform? Because it be people with platforms that sit in our live events, be watching us, and be doing all kind of funny shit. What are you doing? Matter of fact, what did we also do? Wolfpack family this year, what did we also do? 68 backpacks for kids going back to school. That's what we do. So don't talk shit about somebody that's giving to charity and try to make it a negative thing. Oh, that's not even a lot of his money. It's his money. It's his money. And if he chooses to give 7 million of it to charity, even more, what are you doing? And what kind of person are you to even talk down on that? There's a difference. There is a difference. So just chill and sit back. Chill and sit back. Shut your mouth. If you're not doing something, go do something before you talk about anybody else that's doing something with millions of dollars that they earn every year and they choose to put it in charity and commission. Just shut up. Shut up. Had to get on that. So then we got in the McLaren garage, finally, McLaren have reached a settlement agreement with Alpine as far as the acquisition of Oscar Piastri. I know a lot of us have been like, where's Piastri been? Haven't seen, haven't heard from him. What's going on with him? Well, they were in the background working on this settlement to try to completely acquire this driver. And financial compensation has been settled up on. So now we probably will see and hear a bit more from Piastri, although it's towards the end of the season, but still, McLaren can go ahead and put that driver in use, in practice, get him suited up, get him acclimated to McLaren environment, the family, the cars, all that stuff. That's going. They got Alex, they got Piastri, they got Lando. They have a nice driver lineup starting up, right? They got a nice driver lineup coming in. McLaren is really making moves. So, and there was some talk. It's funny. DeVries works his way around this damn grid. You know, DeVries at some point in time, because it was reported that Lando was ill, DeVries might have. Also, don't forget, we're going to be live today for finale lap for the race. We'll be live, so come back here and chill with us. We're going to be here, all right? I'm going live. Like I told you, I'm putting in that work all weekend. Like, we've been live with e-racing, live with damn sprint, live with qualifying, live now with updates. We're going to be live later on today for the race, so be here. Galacticus, driver pinpoints, carry over, drop off overtime. Yes, it is. Driver, okay, once they do reach 12, though, they do get reset. Like, once they reach that 12, they get reset. If you haven't reached 12 yet, then you still go for a 12-month period, so it still can go into next season for some time until that 12-month mark comes. So that is true, but once they hit 12 and they get that penalty, those points go off and they start over again for the 12-month period. So do also keep that in mind. Thank you very much, Galacticus, for bringing that up, bringing that info in. I love my family. My family always, you know what I'm saying, they very knowledgeable. So pay attention to that. Like, the fam's very knowledgeable. Our people in here that have been watching Formula One for 20, 30 years, so don't think we sleeping over here in the Wolfpack fam. I got encyclopedias of knowledge. Mary Beanie, Galacticus, Patrick, Dave, several people in my family are knowledgeable. So even if I don't know it, I can depend on my family like Mary Beanie and them to pop it up. Mary Beanie been watching fucking Formula One. She been watching since Senna and beyond days. So yo, don't sleep on my family members. They know they shit. All right, so then listen, Red Bull had an element on the cars. Not like it's not an update or upgrade. I think they were monitoring and trying to watch for certain things that took place at COTA, okay? We saw something that Red Bull had going on, and I'm going to play a video of it where we thought maybe it was some type of device that they had implemented to give them the edge. But indeed, now I don't think it was a device. I just think something was broke. So you can check it out. But we had this situation. If you notice the wheel fairing, watch how it pulls out, okay? And then it pulls back in. Initially, people were all on social media with this being played and were thinking that this was something that Red Bull had implemented as a device to give them a pretty much an advantage. I didn't really know at the time. I really didn't know at the time if that's what it was or what was going on. So I really didn't report on it because I was like, I'm not sure really what the hell might be going on there. It could be broke, could be. You never know with Red Bull, right? When you're dealing with somebody like Red Bull, you just don't know. So you kind of like, shit, I don't know what the hell they doing over there at the garage. There's no telling. But here in Brazil, implementing something that looks like a sensory system or a camera system, monitoring both sides of that fairing or that suspension area. So likely looking for something that might be going on there. So that was something to pay attention to. I don't think this is at all anything implemented that's going to give them like pace in the race more than it is giving them information on data on how to build going forward to either prevent or improve said devices later on. So that was something else. Also going into our next topic. All right, I'm telling you, we're gonna do, because we gonna get into this race soon. We got the race coming up, 1300 this time, so roughly about 3 hours off my time. So I'm be looking forward to it. And plus, I gotta go try to see what I'm gonna make for breakfast. I don't know if I'm gonna make French toast, what I'm gonna make yet. I might eat cookie for breakfast. Ain't no telling what the hell I'm gonna do. But going on to the next, let's look into our PU situation usage up until now. If you notice, we got Mercedes 4 across the board. They're over, not extremely over in comparison to other teams. Red Bull 5, Max Verstappen's over. He's been over. Perez also over. If you come down to Ferrari is definitely over. Also taking a grid penalty for Carlos, 5 grid spots. So that's something that's going on. McLaren is over when it comes to Lando. Daniel Ricciardo has definitely been straight. He's on the line. Anything else later on this season, he's also going to be looking at penalties. Alpine, definitely over. Both drivers, 6, they're completely over. It is what there is. AlphaTauri, definitely over when it comes to Yuki, like clearly over. And as a matter of fact of being over, as you see, Charles is already over exhaust. You get 8 of those. And it looks like AlphaTauri as a group and Sainz are going to be over shit. And Red Bull will be over when it comes to exhaust because they're on that line. But we're coming to the last part of the race. So we'll see what happens with that. Any incident happens that wrecks up that exhaust and they do have to replace it. We're looking at something where they might start taking grid penalties. Aston Martin and Williams have been relatively safe on that line. They haven't fallen over. They haven't had the pace. Now, had a situation taken place a lot worse between Stroll and Vettel, then it's quite possible they would have ended up looking at grid penalties as well, depending on how catastrophic the damage would have been, but it didn't happen. So Williams and Aston still safe on the fence, just waiting to see what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to fall over by the end of the season unless Latifi chooses to do a bunch of debacle-type crap on his way out. Valtteri and Zhou sitting there over completely on Valtteri. Valtteri's just running it up. Then they're all running it up on exhaust, even down to Haas with the Ferrari power unit. And big shout out to K-Mag. You got your sprint first. You got your first pole position for both you and Haas as a team. I want to congratulate you. It was short-lived, though. The carriage that was nice and lavish turned right back into the pumpkin for Haas. And Magnussen was gobbled up by Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes going into that race. But he held it for at least 3 laps. So I'm sending him a shout out for that. A lot of y'all didn't think he was going to make it even 1 lap, okay? So that's pretty much it. That's what we got for updates, what we got for news, getting ready to go into the Brazil GP. Like I said, tire strategy, all that other stuff with Red Bull. If Red Bull employ the same tire strategy, like I said, this track is still 71 laps like Mexico. This track is still 4.3 kilometers like Mexico was. Similar situation. If Red Bull ploy out the same, they know probably a bit more how far further out they could take those soft tires, okay? I think they, might even been a little premature. Like Max and Perez did a great job, and Perez did a great job even on the mediums, as did Max. Mercedes just fumbled up the tire strategy. I think if they do fumble it up again, they are on Ferrari-like settings when it comes to strategy, and I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to shit on them. If they mess up the tire strategy coming in the finale lap, I'm going to be dumping. I'm going to dump on Mercedes hard because they deserve it. By the way, I'm going to wear a special shirt for finale lap later today live, so be here. I'm going to have on my new special shirt for finale lap, so don't miss it. Mary Beanie, I'm not going to miss your super chat. I see you. Mary Beanie, the weaving rule. Mary Beanie coming in with this knowledge. The weaving rule was changed in 2010 because of Lewis' move in Malaysia. Let's go, Sir Lewis Hamilton, for the win. Mr. Salty, hashtag SmaxyPad, hashtag Wolf1 commentary. Hey, Barry Beanie, big shout out. Love you, fam. Thank you very much, and I hope you're feeling well. Know you was down with the flu, but you still showed up. Mary Beanie showed up last Thursday for our F1 a F122 grudge race, and it was like 11 o'clock her time, going into 1 o'clock in the morning, and she was up with us going hard. By the way, if you want to vote on where the next grudge race is going to be, you can vote in the community section. I already put the poll up. Vote where these drivers are going to drive, and even if you like, comment what you would like the weather conditions to be. You have that control as a viewer, and then those drivers will race there. I will put out when the next race is going to be. I might make it Wednesday because Joshua will be able to participate if it's earlier in the day versus a Thursday being later in the day. So also pay attention to that. So we'll probably be doing something along that. So we will have another E-race next week. Like I said, vote on where you want the track to be. Vote on what you want the weather conditions to be. We want to try to make it challenging for these drivers. And if you want to participate, send me your gamer tag. I will add you. Now, listen, if I've sent you an invite and you said you didn't see it, if you don't have Xbox, you won't see it. I found it more efficient to go ahead and send you an invite on the EA Sports platform because that's cross-platforming. So whether you have a PS5, you have a PC, you have an Xbox, you should get the invite on the EA platform. So check your Players Hub, go to your friends section, and see if you have an invite from Wolfpack. If you don't, then send me an invite on whatever platform on the EA Sports, or if you're on Xbox, send me the invite there, and I will accept it and add you to the group. That way, when I go ahead and get the race set up for the lobby, I'll send out those invites, and you shouldn't be missed. But anyway, I go live. We'll set it up, so be here for that. We're having fun. We're going to go into off season. I'm likely going to start up something. I'm going to wait till I develop it a little bit more. I also going to need to talk to Stinky today over at Delta Zero Productions and see what's going on with that. So listen, we're going to be live later on for the race. Do not miss it. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all in a little bit. It's Brazil race time. Like I said, it could be spicy, could be different, but either way it goes, hey, I think these are some interesting things happening. Developments are happening. The sprint was the best sprint we've seen all season and likely part of the best races we've seen outside Coda in Silverstone. And then you got Brazil sprint race. I don't know if I want to see 6 sprint races next season. I'm still not sold on 6. We already have an increased amount of races that are going to be taking place. 6 sprints, I think, is a bit much unless they reformat the sprint race and do some work on it. I don't want to see 6. I'm with Max on that. I don't want 6 sprint races. 3 is good enough for me. Like, it was enough to see it and then kind of start missing. Be like, okay, we got one, and now when's the sprint race? And we got another one. I'm good with that. Too many, I'm not with it. So, hey, I'm going to see y'all later on live here at Wolfpack, at the family, at the community. Don't miss it. Be here live because we're going to turn up. If Mercedes get a podium, I'm turning up and popping bottles too. So believe that, all right? CP. Oh, Stinky, I was just talking about you. Hey, bro, I'm going to call you as soon as I get off the live while I'm making damn breakfast. I'm going to call you, Stinky. I'm calling you. As soon as I end this, I'm calling you. So let's get up so we can talk about some things. And yes, Broken Hypocrite killed the last race. Joshua, you better come on out, man. Come on out. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Peace.